If you have your Bibles tonight, would you please turn to 1 Corinthians chapter 13? 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We're going to start in chapter 1. We are going to read the entirety of chapter 13. Though I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I become like a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, but have not love, it profits me nothing. Focus on specifically on verses 4 through 7. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself and is not puffed up. Love does not behave rudely and does not seek its own, is not provoked nor thinks evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. Inasmuch love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Continuing to verse 8. Love never fails, but whether there are prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there are tongues, they will cease. And whenever there is knowledge, it will vanish away. For we know in part, we prophesy in part. When that which the perfect has come, then that which is in part will be done away. For when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away such childish things. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know, just as I also am known. And now abide faith, hope, love, these three. But the greatest of these is love. Through the context of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we see the idea of love and it being one of the most powerful things that we can have. And that when used incorrectly or not utilized within a sense, everything that we do is in and of its sense useless. Going to verse 14 and going to verse 4 and verse 7, excuse me. This verses 4 and 7 of 1 Corinthians 13 is commonly cited for at weddings and at funerals and any kind of occasion where a celebration is occurred or a cessation of life is spoken upon. Specifically in a wedding, let's substitute the word love for your name. Sean suffers long and is kind. Ariel does not envy. Sherry does not parade herself. She is not puffed up. Greg does not behave rudely, nor does he seek his own. Greg is not provoked and thinks no evil. Joshua does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in truth. Hannah bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. What we can gather from this is that if we can do these things with love, then we are fulfilling a Christ-like attitude. If we can work on love in a manner that is second nature to us, within our works, how we go about our day-to-day life, how we think, act, and speak, then we are doing so in a fulfillment of Christ. So what I am going to end on today, and to cut this Wednesday night to be rather short in nature, is how have you been doing this last week, this last month, or better yet, this last year? Have you behaved in a way that you have suffered long and were still kind during hard times? Were you envious at any point in time? Were your actions not appropriate in the way that Christ calls you to be? Did you behave rudely and did you seek your own pleasures and live a place of love? Were you provoked and did you think evil when times got hard or when you faced adversary? Did you rejoice in somebody else's iniquity, but feel disdain whenever something good happened to them? Were you as Christ called you to? Did you behave, think, and speak in the way that Christ calls you to in love? Because Christ hung on that cross for me. He had enough love to come down, endure the torment of man, and be tempted in all trials, yet not sin, be pierced aside, mocked, beaten, flogged with a whip, hang on a cross, die, and resurrected in 3 days, only for people to still not believe in him. Christ did all that, and he still has the hope that we as humans, as flawed as we are, can still turn to him, and still wants us to love others as much as he loves us. If you've been lacking in any shape, form, or fashion, and have stumbled away from your walk with God, and have not loved as Christ has properly called you to, or if you wish to put on Christ and understand his love that he has provided to you through baptism, I ask you to come to the front as we stand and as we sing.